So how's it been the last month in British politics? Well, we've had Brexit chaos, the Prime Minister unlawfully shutting down Parliament, party conferences pretty disrupted. I'd say it's been pretty...
Uplifting.
Uplifting?
Yeah.
It was... Ignore me. So that ray of sunshine was one of many characters we met at the, I'd say, veritable wonderland, magical wonderland that was Conservative Party conference. It was a strange one, I'm not going to lie. We were quite drained as a team, I have to say. Emotional labour definitely went into that video. The producer Maeve is currently grimacing off screen. But it was weird because I would say, actually, given the kind of Boris Johnson phenomenon within the Conservative Party, it wasn't bubbling with a sort of excitement and ferment that I would have expected. And there was something a bit darker about it than normal years. Which brings me on to a comment by Peter Ra, 7957. Hello. Dominic Grieve has a point. The Conservative Party is something different now. They really are the nasty party now. Ooh, I'd quibble slightly there because I think they've been the nasty party for, I mean, that's their shtick really, isn't it? But you're right, they've become even more kind of this right-wing, hardcore, authoritarian populist party, which is Dominic Grieve. That was the point he was making. He's one of the 21 MPs kicked out. And it's extraordinary if you think about it. You know, the Labour Party being portrayed as this authoritarian Stalinist party, they've not deselected a single MP. Whereas, you know, 21 MPs were kicked out of the Tory Party in one swoop. And it's interesting that, you know, the likes of Dominic Grieve, they were part of the Cameron faction, which ruled the Conservative Party just 3.5 years ago. Now, these were socially liberal, pro-austerity. Again, I'm not going to call these people moderates because austerity was not moderate and partly, well, in large part, led to the crisis we're now in. It caused huge misery for disabled people, low-paid people, kids are being driven into poverty as a consequence. But that even the likes of Dominic Grieve now are seen as too moderate for the Conservative Party should tell us something which is very, very disturbing indeed. They have become, increasingly, the Brexit Party, a faragist, populist, demagogic, authoritarian party. And given they do have a chance of winning the election, and that was the point I made at the end of the video, which I know some of the comments found quite chilling and disturbing, but this is weeks away. There's almost certainly going to be an election by the end of this year, and we could end up with this party, for which the likes of Dominic Grieve are too moderate, having a majority, and reshaping this country in their own image. So Tory conference feels like a pretty long while away, but it was last week. Labour Party conference feels like a lifetime away. Oh my word. British politics. Herr Schmidt, hello. How did Miliband manage to get so unbelievably uncharismatic during his campaign when in every clip from before and after, he seems like a nice and competent guy? This is what I call the Miliband paradox. Podcast Ed, as Maeve puts it, which is that you listen to his podcast, you're like, oh my God, what a great guy. He's hilarious. He's so intelligent, witty, charming. And then you kind of look back when he was leader and think, what? I mean, it's a tragedy, really, of Ed Miliband. He is probably one of the nicest, warmest, brightest guys in British politics, and he wasn't able to be himself when he was leader. He felt trapped, I think, between being the son of his radical father, who was a Marxist intellectual, Ralph Miliband, and being a New Labour special advisor. And what New Labour did is professionalise politics, and it made people think they had to speak in a certain way, which often wasn't very natural. If he would been able to be himself, not just his personality, but actually many of his views, because he was more politically radical than he let on, if you like, or was able to let on when he was leader, then maybe Labour would have won the 2015 election. SB words, the shambles of a conference was saved by the constitutional coup. Would we say constitutional coup? I mean, what you're saying is 11 members of the Supreme Court unanimously decided that the Prime Minister had unlawfully shut down Parliament. Or maybe, just maybe, the Prime Minister did actually shut down Parliament because he wanted to shut down scrutiny of Brexit. It did start as a shambles, no point pretending otherwise. I mean, what a ridiculous series of events. Whatever you think about Tom Watson, keep my mouth shut at this point, you know, the idea of trying to abolish the deputy leader post on the eve of a conference, it just looked so ridiculous. And it could have, if it had gone through, it would have really destabilised conference, I think. So, but it still started as a shambles. What I think saved it wasn't so much the Supreme Court judgment. That did have a role, and it was very weird to watch shadow ministers all fleeing back to Parliament in the midst of this conference. But I think what energised the base, the activists, were the policies like the Green New Deal. So it started quite flat and chaotic, but it ended I think people thinking, or being reminded, this is what we're fighting for. Now, way before that, we chatted to Caroline Lucas, the Green Party superstar.
Labour has got a very sort of expansionist growth policy, then there's going to be that tension. I mean, I think that sense of emergency, so we need to see, you know, a Cobra meeting instantly.
Lewis Beach, big fan of Caroline Lucas. As a Labour guy, my loyalty is set, but I think the Greens, especially under Lucas, are an important constituent in progressive politics. I would relish her activism, knowledge and experience working within our party government. I think she'd be good in government. I think give her the climate emergency brief. I mean, she certainly knows the stuff about that, doesn't she? And I suppose that could be a quid pro quo for Green Party candidates not maybe campaigning in Tory Labour marginals where they could end up handing the election to the Conservatives, because the Conservatives obviously are not going to deal with this climate emergency and they're also going to wreck the country. So it's obviously in their interest for Labour to win with a radical climate set of policies, which Labour have shifted towards, partly because of pressure from the Green Party. Tams, hello. I am very disappointed in the direction the Liberal Democrats have gone. I expressed my concern about Swinson, but got vigorously shut down by some very local members. Now, this is someone, you say you're on the left of the Lib Dems. Yeah, I mean, I think I can see why Lib Dems, who genuinely want to remain, and that's their priority, would be so gutted by what's happened. So I think the problem is they're fragmenting the Remain vote because millions of Remainers don't support revoking Article 50. They want a referendum instead. It antagonises Leave people more, so it doesn't heal the divide. And also their obsession with the Labour Party means that they're dividing the anti-Tory coalition and making it more likely Boris Johnson will win and no deal will happen. So Caroline Lucas is right to be exasperated, and you as a Lib Dem member are right to be exasperated, because what is the priority here? Is it stopping Brexit or is it stopping Jeremy Corbyn? And I think you have made your mind up. I also think Jo Swinson has made her mind up as well. Bruce Robinson, get Jo Swinson in the chair. I would like to hear her justification for their policies, especially the recent revoke folly. I'd love to interview Jo Swinson. I've even DM'd her on Twitter. She didn't reply. Yeah, please, Jo, let's have a chat. Let's talk it out. You know, I'm going to ask you some questions, clearly. You can challenge, you know, those questions. You can set the record straight on why I'm wrong. We'll see about that. But I'd like that interaction. I'd like that chat. This is a seismic moment in British politics. And I think it's important that you and I have a nice, warm, cosy chat. Astrid McLean, hello. Fact chance I know, but I would love you to get Dominic Cummings in that chair. Smiley face. Yeah, I think he's quite busy at the moment. Quite busy. Yeah, we can try. Maeve says we can try, and she's the boss. Yeah, let's give it a go. I'll email, I don't know, dominiccummings@gmail.com. That's not actually... He's a Hotmail sort of guy, Maeve suggests. All right, okay. Let's just try. I'll just try a few different combinations. So, we've got quite the turbulent few weeks ahead. It does feel like the end of the box set, doesn't it? Kind of the season finale, where all the protagonists finally, destiny is now gonna wreak its havoc. And we're gonna, that's my cat yowling in anticipation of the drama ahead. Absolutely, Keir. So there's gonna be an election, almost certainly. It's going to be not just any old election, it's gonna determine the future of this country, who knows, for a generation or more. No pressure, guys. So I wanna hear who we should be talking to in these turbulent few weeks. We're going to travel the country when the election happens, but I want your ideas. That's what we love to hear. Maeve wants to hear those ideas. Tell us where to go. I want to go back to my hometown Stockport. I think that'd be interesting, but I want to go to a variety of different places. Tory, Labour, different parts of the country. So send your thoughts. As ever, thanks for watching. Subscribe. I'll see you next time.